Most businesses kill their long-term demand without even realizing it. They try to squeeze every sale out of every video, every post, and in the process, they burn the very audience they're trying to build. I've studied over 100 of the most successful client acquisition systems, and the top ones all do the opposite. They leave demand on the table. And in this video, I'll teach you exactly what pent-up demand is, why hard selling is killing it, and how to build it strategically, so that you can grow your goodwill, trust, and cash flow at the same time. Well, what is pent-up demand in the first place? Well, pent-up demand is demand that you intentionally leave on the table. It is demand that you haven't instantly liquidated and that has built up during weeks or months. So let's look at an analogy to drive this home. So let's think of a bowl where you constantly pour in water, and this water is the demand that you are creating. And this bowl also has an exit, and all the water that pours out from the exit is all the demand that you liquidate. But we can restrict the water from flowing out by putting a plug on the exit. So now the water can't flow out and it will build up inside the bowl. And all of the water that remains inside the bowl is pent up demand. So the thing is that you don't want to liquidate all your demand instantly. You want to liquidate 60 to 80% of your demand and leave some of it on the table. And I will explain why. So the problem with not having pent up demand is that then you're liquidating 100% of your demand instantly, which means that you're either hard selling or over promoting. So you don't want to talk about your offer every day and scream louder. You don't want to make bolder and bolder promises because your audience gets tired and they don't want to watch your stuff anymore because you're just hard selling every time. So don't burn out your audience because it leads to audience fatigue. And also, it makes your business very risky and volatile because the only way for you to make money is to liquidate all this demand that you are creating. But what if you don't create as much demand next month? Well, if you had pent up demand, you could just pull the plug and liquidate all that pent up demand. But if you don't have pent up demand, then you will just simply make less money than before. And also, that is inevitable because when you're over promoting, you lose the goodwill of your audience and no one will want to watch your stuff anymore. So you won't create as much of this demand to liquidate. So by over promoting and liquidating all your demand now, you are essentially stealing demand from the future. You're slowly but surely killing your demand machine. So let me clean this up a bit like this. So if everything that you pour in instantly flows out, if you liquidate all your demand instantly that you are generating, then that means that you are hard selling or over promoting, as I said before. And if you do that, you will lose the goodwill of your audience and no one will want to watch your stuff anymore because you're just hard selling every time. So by wanting to liquidate all your demand instantly, you will be generating less demand in the following months in the future. And if you have less flow into the bowl, you will have less flow out of the bowl. So it creates this vicious cycle where you want to liquidate all your demand instantly, but that means that you will create less demand next month, and if you create less demand, you have less demand to liquidate. So the root cause to that problem is that you are over promoting. So by not over promoting, by just mentioning words like clients in your videos, and by just having the link in the description, you will liquidate like 60 to 80% of your audience. But now you don't lose the goodwill of your audience, and you will keep getting more and more demand each month. So essentially, what you want to do is you want to put a small plug here on the exit, and you want to liquidate 60 to 80% of this demand instantly. And that means that 20 to 40% of your demand will build up inside the bowl and be pent up demand. And then what you want to do is you want to run what I call profit events to liquidate this pent up demand. And what you essentially do, very simply, is you pull the plug and liquidate all this pent up demand. And you still do liquidate 100% of your demand as you did before, but you do it in a different manner. Instead of liquidating all your demand instantly and hard selling in your content, now you have no hard selling, and you liquidate 60 to 80% instantly, and you leave 20 to 40% on the table. But then whenever you want, you can just pull the plug and liquidate the remaining 20 to 40%. So, but now you're not hard selling, and you're not losing the goodwill of your audience. And I don't know why no one talks about pent-up demand, because it's actually so important and has so many positive effects. Now, one is, for example, that your business is way less volatile, because if there ever was a problem with your demand, you can just pull the plug and liquidate some of the pent-up demand that you have created. And actually, a pretty common reason why some businesses go out of business is because they start off by selling to a full bucket of warm audience, and then they start to post new videos trying to get more demand, but slowly but surely they need to convert more people than demand that they create. So then they start to pitch harder and harder every video, and therefore no one will want to watch their videos anymore. So they need to fix the root cause of creating more pent-up demand. So now let's take a look at a couple of graphs to actually drive this home. So most of you guys are trying to push your conversion rates as close to the theoretical maximum as possible. You're trying to increase your conversion rate as high as possible. And you guys may be thinking that it's a good thing. You may be thinking that if I get as many clients from a YouTube video as possible, then it's a good thing. If I convert as many people from my audience, then it's a positive thing. So, but if you try to push your conversion rate as close to the absolute maximum that you could, then that means that you are hard selling or over promoting. And as I said many times before, that means that people won't want to watch your content anymore because you're just hard selling. And if you're hard selling and people don't want to watch your content, then your demand will go down over time. And if your demand goes down over time, then that means that your sales will also go down over time. So the right thing to do this is to have your normal conversion rates below the theoretical maximum. So if your theoretical maximum is 5%, you want your normal conversion rate to be 3%. You don't want to be hard selling in your content. And what that means is that then you will have some pent-up demand that you leave on the table. And then you want to liquidate that pent-up demand using these profit events. And you still convert on average 5% of the people, but you do it in a different manner. Here in the first example, you try to push your conversion rates as high as possible, as high as you possibly could have your conversion rates. And that means that you are hard selling and over promoting, which means that your demand will go down over time because no one will want to watch your content because you're just hard selling. But here, you keep it chill. You keep your conversion rates below the theoretical maximum. You're not hard selling, and you build pent up demand because you're not hard selling. And then you liquidate all that pent up demand using these profit events, and you get as many clients as you did before. But now you don't lose the goodwill of your audience, and that means that your demand will not go down over time, but it will actually go up over time. So it's actually crucial that you guys do this, and you don't try to just push your conversion rates through the roof, because there will be negative consequences if you do that over time. You want to leave some demand on the table. You want to have your conversion rate below the theoretical maximum. You don't want to hard sell, and then you want to liquidate that pent up demand using your profit events so that you still get as many clients as you did before. But if you have any questions about any of these, I will leave my Instagram in the description below. So just shoot me a DM, and I will be more than happy to help you.